Who are you? This question should be fairly easy, as it's only 3 words. Usually people will answer with their name, age, profession, accomplishments, or species. But do those qualities really define who you are? Or are you just labels? And no, I'm not talking about Gucci or Bugatti, but the unconscious labels we place on others and identify with. Labels play a significant role in our interactions with others. In society, we label others, and others label us, because we naturally seek the answer to identifying and relating to others. They come in all forms, from your gender to your accomplishments to your personality, and they can cover the surface part of who you are without letting anyone, including yourself, see your true individuality. They aren't always harmful to you, but they may not be ones you would like to identify yourself with. Listening to others' definitions of you can mess with your self-hypnosis. It's a series of thoughts about yourself that constantly run through your brain, saying that, I'm amazing, or I'm not smart enough, and so on. The more you listen to it, the more you believe it, and eventually, that will be who you become. Most of the time, they're tags that others gave you and that you attach to yourself. All of this self-hypnosis is your brain processing your experiences, you reacting to the outside world, and you thinking of your possibilities and your potential. This way of conducting social interactions has been etched into our daily lives since we were little. In the past, my classmates labeled each other based on what they're known best for. He's a fast runner. She's very pretty. Aha, you're that strong kid. I was always labeled as the top student, and I did not like it one bit. You might think, how is that a negative thing? You should be proud of yourself because you accomplished so much. At first, I thought it was a compliment. I felt the academic satisfaction of being at the top and having everyone respect you. I loved working hard towards what I could be, but I didn't want to be only identified as that. I felt distant from most people. Others only knew me for what I had accomplished and not for who I really was. This made me believe that I had to be the smartest person in the school, because without the label of being intelligent, my label held no value. No one would remember me for anything. I felt mentally exhausted after working relentlessly to become the person that others perceived me as, but at the price of losing who I really was. In the end, nothing changed for the better. I still felt that social exclusion from others. I felt like no one was there for me. This forced me to question myself. What was I really working towards? What did I value? What was my purpose in life? Who was I? I realized that I needed to take the time to discover who I was, because I didn't take the time to define myself. As a child, I didn't really feel the need to, because I was constantly guided by my parents. But it seemed to just hit me once I became a teenager, along with puberty, but that's a different story. I was stuck chasing ideals of others while tossing away mine. I felt lost in high school, in society, and in this world. That wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to know who I was. I wanted to be me. I wanted to define myself. So I laid in my bedroom for hours every day, staring at the ceiling and pondering about my existence in life. And after many hours of reflecting, getting to know myself, and working towards who I wanted to be, I finally started to gather a sense of myself. Even though it's just a tiny bit, I still want you to do the same. I want all of you to feel a sense of accomplishment as you undergo your path to discover who you really are. It's like the moment when you have no stress and no work. It's one of the best feelings that you can ever imagine. One question that may run through your head is why? Why is it important to define yourself? You have work, you have to take care of your family, hang out with friends, manage your money. But what about you? Why are you doing all of these things without putting yourself first? It's not being selfish or narcissistic, but you do need to give yourself some self-love and care, and self-characterizing would definitely fulfill that need. So what if you defined yourself in a new way? Well, imagine you. You're still you, but you understand why you feel what you feel and why you behave in a particular way. You know your strengths, potential, limitations, and purpose. You create a life that you want based on what you value and what you truly prefer to believe in. All of this can be unlocked and unleashed when you know and understand who you are. And if you want this to happen, why not start now? Today, I'll give you 5 steps to guide you along that journey. Remember that these steps aren't in chronological order, and you may use some more than others. Everyone has their own path, with their own bumps and turns. I know that you encounter times of adversity, or times where you may feel stumped. I know that you encounter those times where you may not have the time or energy to put into that path. But I promise you that if you continue to push through, that hard work will pay off. Step 1, look around you and see how others perceive you. Everyone is different, and therefore everyone's perception of you is unique. Your own perspective isn't always reliable. Sometimes it may be clouded with your biases or with your ego. Other people can give you a valuable outsider perspective in who you are and how you can improve. While this criticism may be useful, there's a fine line that you need to be wary of. While embarking on this journey of self-discovery, it's important to know that you must surround yourself with others that value you. Some people will give you honest and harsh criticism, while others may just blatantly insult you. You need to know and understand the difference between when to listen to the criticism and when to ignore the hate. Step 2, if you want to receive feedback, then you need to be open and prepared. Your feedback will not always be positive. It may be harsh. You may find yourself in denial at first. But if you continue to be stubborn upon your own beliefs, then what's the point of defining yourself? Sometimes you need to keep an open mind and be conscious of how you can improve. I decided to ask my mom about how I can improve myself. She happened to be there. So I asked her, "What did you think that I should improve upon?" And she replied to me, "A lot of things." I mean, she's not wrong, but I thought she was joking. So I asked her, "Mom, can you be serious, please?" "Yes, Vivian, I am." So I decided to ask her another question to get all the details because I was still so confused. "How about just one thing I can improve upon?" And this is what she said to me. "Sometimes you don't seem to listen to what I have to say." And I was in disbelief. I started saying excuses like, "Yes, I do listen, and sometimes I can't listen all the time." I rambled on, and then my mom suddenly stopped me. She put her hand on my shoulder and said to me, "Vivian, did you listen to what I had to say?" And guess what my reply was? "I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?" Then the moment a realization struck me. I was in denial, but instead of continuing to be stubborn upon my own beliefs, I decided to open up and ask, what made you think so? Step 3, remember that you are the only one who can define yourself. While others may have their best intentions of you, no one but you can make the final say on how you should be. You can take their suggestions and reflect, but don't immediately use them. If others define you, then you become a puppet that others want you to be. Your freedom and your true self will be controlled against your will. You will need to cut your strings and be free. You will also discover that your experiences will play a huge role in defining you. Most of your experiences are based on autopilot, which were decisions we made in the past that define and limit what our possibilities and potential are. Sometimes you undergo negative experiences, and you may feel that they can hold you back because you think that they are the only things that can define you. I know that it's tough letting go of all of the trauma and pain associated with it because you have such strong emotions attached to those memories. But eventually, you need to move forward with your life because you have so much more to live for. You will first need to reconcile and accept that it happened to you before letting go to move forward. It's still with you, but it shouldn't define you. You don't deserve to be defined or tagged based on what others think of you. As the great American poet Robert Frost once said, accept no one's definition. Define yourself. Step 4, constantly reflect upon yourself. Your mindset is the way you define yourself and can steer in a certain direction based on how you think of how and who you think you are. Once you start paying attention to what's going on inside of your mind, pay attention to what your thoughts and emotions are trying to tell you. Find patterns and connect the dots. So one time I was at this Christmas party and I saw this huge box of Ferrero Rocher chocolates. You know those ones with the golden wrappers? Yeah, those ones. So I was reaching for one, but then I stopped myself. Should I really be eating this? I mean, it's unhealthy. They're full of sugar and fat, and I'm on this diet. I mean, 1 minute it's going to be on my lips, and then a lifetime on my hips. Holy smokes. But I ate one anyways. As I was biting into it, I was thinking, well, there go my plans for being on the diet. But then I thought, oh, this tastes so good. Maybe I'll just have one more and then I'll be satisfied with myself. But then I also thought, I don't think it's a good idea. But I ate another one, and another one, and another one, until I ate around 10 of those chocolates. At first, what I wanted to do was say, shame on you. You shouldn't be doing that. But then I thought about why I did it. And I accepted that, well, my sweet tooth got the best of me. The thoughts I had weren't that good for me because I was constantly putting myself down and not allowing room for growth and improvement. Obviously, there are problems that can be worse than this, but it's important to acknowledge the thought patterns that you have. But don't beat yourself up over them. There's a difference between being honest and being self-critical. We can get easily swayed by those negative emotions, but if you are aware of them, you can steer your mind towards a new direction, towards positivity and towards self-improvement. Step 5, set your goals accordingly if you want to improve. You will most likely hate your flaws. At first, what you may want to do is to push them all away, but remember to embrace them too. After all, they are a part of you. To overcome your imperfections, you must first work towards setting new goals. Instead of being restrictive upon them, for example, I should stop eating junk food so much. Try working towards a goal that allows you to improve. For example, I should learn how to eat healthier. Always strive to be the best version of yourself, but never strive for perfection. It took me a long time to realize that perfection is not a human quality, and I lost myself when I tried to achieve it. Your flaws are what make you human, and no human is perfect. While you're on the path of define yourself, you may find that you will compare yourself with others. Don't. You're on your own path. Why focus on others when you are your top priority? Everyone is different, and you are unique and amazing in your own way. Once you embark on this journey, it's important to know that you can never be finished. After all, it is a never-ending one. No matter how long you've been on that path, no matter what your age, gender, or whatsoever, you change a tiny bit every day. And over the weeks, months, and years, all the factors within and around you will change you. This will force you to redefine yourself. So make sure to constantly check in with yourself to see how you have improved now that you have the fundamental steps. As for me, I know that I will constantly change as I go through my own path. The journey to define yourself is as important as the supposed endpoint of yourself. So make sure to constantly stay on that path of self. Become who you really are. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Uncover your thoughts and mindset. Set your goal towards success, happiness, and self-improvement, and discover the definition of you. Thank you.